Have you ever pondered if your everyday undergarment selections could be subtly jeopardizing your well-being? We are about to unveil 7 critical blunders medical professionals frequently caution against, particularly for women in their later years. If you're watching this video, comment, enlighten, and prepare to transform your understanding of intimate apparel. This insightful discussion could safeguard you from discomfort and protect your health for many years ahead. Before we delve into these vital points, we would be delighted if you could give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us disseminate crucial information on graceful aging. If you haven't yet subscribed, we highly recommend you do so and activate the notification bell to ensure you never miss any of our upcoming videos. We invite you to engage with us. If you find this video beneficial, please comment valuable insight. If not, feel free to comment room for improvement to help us refine our content for you. Now, let's commence. The most crucial point we need to address is 1. Discarding old undergarments. This particular piece of advice truly resonates with me, and I suspect it will with many of you as well. We all possess that one pair of underwear we simply cannot bring ourselves to relinquish. For me, it was my cherished weekend briefs, a remarkably soft, perfectly broken-in pair of deep purple cotton underpants I'd owned since the dawn of the millennium. They weren't just comfortable, they felt like a trusted companion, having molded to my body through countless years of wear. However, here's the stark reality I had to accept. Underwear, even your most beloved selections, possesses a finite lifespan. Clinging to them for an extended period can, regrettably, compromise your health. With every cycle of washing, drying, and wearing your undergarments, the fibers gradually degrade. The elastic loses its tension. Seams begin to unravel, and minuscule, imperceptible perforations form within the fabric. Over time, these dilapidated fibers become an ideal sanctuary for bacteria, yeast, and other microorganisms. Regardless of how meticulously you launder them, be it with scalding water, potent detergents, or additional rinse cycles, those aging threads can harbor pathogens that conventional washing methods simply cannot eradicate entirely. For women in their 60s and beyond, this issue becomes particularly concerning. Our bodies exhibit increased susceptibility to urinary tract infections, UTIs, heightened skin sensitivities, and various forms of irritation. Especially if we contend with occasional incontinence or discharge, worn-out underwear merely exacerbates these potential risks. Medical experts advocate for refreshing your undergarment collection every 6 to 12 months, a recommendation that might initially strike you as excessive or even wasteful. I, too, had a similar initial reaction. The idea of replacing perfectly functional underwear seemed utterly unnecessary. However, I subsequently began to perceive it from a different perspective. Would you continue to use the same toothbrush for an entire decade? Absolutely not, because you instinctively recognize the profound hygiene implications. Underwear is no different. It remains in perpetual contact with one of the most delicate regions of your body. Therefore, prioritizing cleanliness in this area is unequivocally non-negotiable. To render this practice manageable without placing an undue strain on your finances, I've adopted a progressive strategy. Every few months, I systematically replace a small quantity of pairs, focusing intently on those exhibiting conspicuous signs of wear, such as faded coloration, stretched-out waistbands, or thinning fabric. The objective isn't to indiscriminately discard everything at once. Rather, it's about maintaining a proactive stance. And frankly, there's an undeniable sense of empowerment in this approach. Each new pair feels like a modest yet meaningful act of self-care, a profound reminder that I am consciously prioritizing my health over mere sentimental attachment. So, take a discerning look into your undergarment drawer. If you discern any perforations, slackening elastic, or pairs that evoke more nostalgia than genuine utility, it is unequivocally time to bid them farewell. You genuinely merit undergarments that unequivocally bolster your well-being, rather than insidiously undermining it. I believe you're enjoying this video. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. Comment "wonderful" if you're enjoying this video. Moving on, let's discuss 2. Avoiding synthetic underwear for daily wear. Let's commence with a subject seldom discussed, yet incredibly significant, particularly for women over 60, your everyday underwear choices. For many years, we have been inundated with marketing campaigns showcasing sleek briefs, intricate lace lingerie, and technologically advanced moisture-wicking activewear. These items are frequently presented as the pinnacle of comfort and sophistication, seamless, body-hugging, and utterly glamorous. Yet, here is a crucial reality that numerous medical professionals, especially gynecologists and dermatologists, are now strongly emphasizing to women in their 60s and beyond. Synthetic fabrics are no longer your allies. Allow me to illustrate this with a personal anecdote. A few years ago, I indulged in a collection of those fashionable, seamless nylon briefs prominently advertised everywhere. They felt exceptionally luxurious against my skin, conformed perfectly to my physique, and were undetectable beneath my preferred denim jeans. However, after several months, I began to experience persistent irritation, a subtle itch one day, followed by a burning sensation the next. Initially, I attributed it to my age, thinking, well, this is simply what transpires during post-menopause. I even contemplated altering my laundry detergent, assuming it was the culprit. Nevertheless, following an open and honest dialogue with my physician, the genuine underlying issue came to light. My synthetic undergarments were wreaking havoc on my intimate health. Synthetic textiles such as polyester, nylon, and spandex are engineered to be pliable and smooth. However, they harbor a concealed drawback. They effectively trap heat and moisture against your skin, thereby creating a warm, humid environment that serves as an ideal breeding ground for undesirable microbial proliferation. As we advance in age, particularly subsequent to menopause, our bodies undergo substantial physiological transformations. Estrogen levels experience a precipitous decline, resulting in skin that is noticeably thinner and more delicate in the vaginal region. The natural protective bacterial flora, such as lactobacillus, which once effectively deterred infections, diminishes, rendering us more susceptible. When these physiological changes are combined with the inherent tendency of synthetic underwear to retain perspiration, discharge, or even minor frictional irritation, the outcome is an ideal milieu for irritation, candidal infections, yeast infections, bacterial vaginosis, or even dermatitis. Currently, I have transitioned to exclusively wearing 100% cotton underwear for my daily routine, and I must unequivocally state that it has been a profound game changer. Are cotton underpants as visually appealing as their lacy counterparts? Perhaps not upon initial inspection, but allow me to redefine attractiveness for you. It is awakening without bothersome itching, not being compelled to resort to medicated creams multiple times weekly, and experiencing genuine, unadulterated comfort within your own skin. Cotton is inherently breathable, highly absorbent, and exceptionally gentle, permitting your skin to truly aerate rather than being suffocated. For special occasions, you can certainly still adorn those silken or lace-adorned pairs. Simply reserve them for romantic evenings or specific events, rather than incorporating them into your everyday regimen. If you are uncertain where to commence this transition, seek out organic cotton options or brands that prioritize superior breathability with loose, non-restrictive designs. Your body will undoubtedly express its gratitude, and you will undoubtedly ponder why you did not embrace this change sooner. Comment Cotton Comfort if you're considering making the switch. Now, let's turn our attention to 3. Avoiding tight underwear. Your body is no longer 25. Let me articulate a truth we all need to confront. Our bodies undergo transformations as we age, and this is not a sign of failure. It is an intrinsic and natural facet of the human experience. Nevertheless, many of us, myself included, stubbornly adhere to the notion that we can continue to wear the same snug, form-fitting undergarments we did in our 20s or 30s. We erroneously persuade ourselves that tighter translates to increased support or a more aesthetically pleasing silhouette. Regrettably, this mindset can lead to considerable discomfort and even significant health complications, particularly for women aged 60 and above. Tight underwear, while seemingly offering containment, often inflicts more detriment than benefit. As we mature, our dermal layers become progressively thinner and more fragile, especially in the pelvic and upper thigh regions. Restrictive fabrics generate pressure points, leading to friction, chafing, and even compromised circulation. In certain instances, the incessant compression exerted by constrictive elastic bands can precipitate a condition known as meralgia paresthetica, wherein a nerve in the thigh becomes entrapped, resulting in symptoms such as numbness, a tingling sensation, or a burning pain. I personally experienced this phenomenon several years ago, having obstinately refused to opt for a larger size in my undergarments. The discomfort persisted for months, all because I was unwilling to acknowledge that my body had undergone changes. The aging process frequently engenders alterations in weight, bodily contours, or muscle tone, and this is perfectly acceptable. Your undergarments should evolve concurrently with you, instead of attempting to squeeze into styles designed for a younger physique. Prioritize undergarments that champion comfort and well-being. Seek out high-rise designs featuring broad, pliable waistbands that rest gently against your skin. Stretchy cotton blends are ideal, as they provide a supportive fit without imposing constriction. A practical guideline: you should be able to effortlessly slide a finger underneath both the waistband and the leg openings. If you are unable to do so, the undergarment is unequivocally too restrictive. This paradigm shift is not about relinquishing personal style. Rather, it's about reconfiguring your perception of what truly makes you feel good. An abundance of attractive, comfortable options are readily available. Consider soft cotton briefs adorned with subtle patterns or smooth, breathable fabrics that do not constrict or dig into your skin. Embracing undergarments that conform to your current body shape is an act of self-acceptance and a proactive measure in safeguarding your health. Comfort, as we age, is not an indulgence. It is an absolute imperative. Comment comfort first if you agree. This time, let's talk about 4. Not sleeping in underwear every night. This particular piece of advice completely caught me off guard when I first encountered it, and I'm willing to wager it will surprise you as well. For the vast majority of my life, I routinely wore underwear to bed without a second thought. It felt entirely normal, hygienic, and even somewhat reassuring, akin to an indispensable layer of protection. However, following a candid conversation with my gynecologist, I learned that consistently sleeping in underwear each night might not be the optimal choice for women over 60, especially those who have experienced menopause. Here's the rationale. Your intimate area requires aeration, particularly during the prolonged hours of sleep when you remain relatively quiescent. Even the most breathable undergarments can inadvertently trap warmth and moisture against your skin, thereby creating an environment conducive to the proliferation of bacteria and yeast. This holds particularly true for women who experience mild incontinence, vaginal discharge, or heightened skin sensitivity issues that are commonly observed as we age. The absence of adequate ventilation can culminate in itching, unpleasant odor, skin rashes, or even infections such as urinary tract infections, UTIs, or yeast overgrowth. Gynecologists specializing in women's health post-menopause frequently advocate for sleeping without underwear for at least a few nights per week, if not every single night, in order to afford your skin an opportunity to fully ventilate. Initially, I harbored skepticism. The notion of foregoing underwear felt somewhat exposed, even peculiar. Nevertheless, I resolved to experiment, commencing with loose cotton pajama bottoms instead of my customary underwear and pajama combination. After a mere week, I discerned a noticeable improvement. My skin felt considerably less irritated, and I experienced a more comfortable night's sleep without the subtle constriction I hadn't even consciously registered prior. For individuals who are not yet prepared to go completely bare, loose-fitting sleepwear, such as cotton pajama pants or a long nightgown, can furnish adequate coverage while still facilitating optimal airflow. This seemingly minor adjustment can yield a substantial difference in mitigating irritation and infections, particularly if you are predisposed to them. The objective is not to entirely abandon undergarments. Rather, it is about providing your body with a much-needed respite when it is most beneficial. Try it for a few nights and observe how it feels. You might be pleasantly surprised by the sense of liberation it bestows, both physically and psychologically. After all, embracing graceful aging fundamentally entails making choices that prioritize your health and comfort, even in the most minute details. Comment free to breathe if you're open to trying this. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment engage below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Moving forward, let's discuss 5. Cessation of using scented or harsh detergents on undergarments. For years, I was captivated by the alluring aromas of laundry detergents, lavender fields, crisp mountain air, tropical breezes. Those exquisitely packaged bottles, with their implicit assurances of cleanliness and freshness, utterly convinced me that my garments, particularly my undergarments, were receiving the epitome of luxurious treatment. Like many of you, I intrinsically linked that floral or ocean mist fragrance with impeccable hygiene and profound comfort. However, here is a stark truth I earnestly wish I had known sooner. Those intensely perfumed, chemical-laden detergents are frequently the primary culprits behind irritation in our most intimate regions. It took me an inordinately long time to connect the seemingly disparate dots. For several months, I grappled with persistent itching and profound discomfort in that delicate area, and I simply could not fathom the underlying cause. I diligently attempted every conceivable remedy, transitioning to various undergarment brands, experimenting with different blends of cotton versus synthetic fabrics, and even incorporating panty liners in an attempt to maintain a perpetual sense of freshness. Nothing proved efficacious. The irritation stubbornly persisted, occasionally escalating into visible redness or a vague, unsettling discomfort that rendered me self-conscious. I finally broached the subject with my physician during a routine appointment, fully anticipating that she would prescribe a cream or medication. Instead, she posed a remarkably simple question that fundamentally altered everything. What detergent are you currently using? It was at that precise juncture that I confronted the harsh reality concerning mainstream laundry products. Many of them, especially the scented varieties, contain fragrances, dyes, optical brighteners, and a myriad of other chemicals that tenaciously linger within your clothing even after the wash cycle is complete. Your undergarments, being the apparel in closest proximity to your body's most sensitive skin, bear the brunt of this chemical residue. These substances can incessantly rub against your intimate area throughout the day, particularly when combined with naturally occurring bodily moisture such as perspiration or vaginal discharge. For women over 60, whose vaginal and vulvar skin tends to thin with advancing age and produces fewer natural oils, this residual chemical presence can be a veritable recipe for irritation, rashes, or even infections such as bacterial vaginosis or candidal overgrowth. And let's not even begin to discuss fabric softeners. I once adored how they imparted a silky texture and delightful fragrance to my clothes, but I had absolutely no inkling that they were depositing a waxy, water-repellent coating onto my undergarments. This coating not only effectively traps bacteria, but also actively impedes the fabric's ability to breathe, thereby creating a warm, moist environment where microbes can luxuriate and proliferate. It is akin to unrolling a crimson carpet for the unwelcome arrival of irritation. So, what constitutes the viable solution? Following my physician's profoundly enlightening question, I made the conscious decision to transition to a fragrance-free, hypoallergenic detergent specifically formulated for sensitive skin. These detergents purposefully omit perfumes, dyes, and harsh additives, ensuring that your clothing, particularly your undergarments, emerges impeccably clean without the accompanying chemical burden. Additionally, I initiated the practice of implementing an extra rinse cycle for my undergarments to ensure that every vestige of detergent is thoroughly washed away. It is a minor supplementary step, yet it has demonstrably made a monumental difference. Since embracing this change, the persistent itching and discomfort have entirely vanished. My skin feels remarkably calm, genuinely clean, and remarkably healthy, and I no longer experience a sense of dread when donning freshly laundered undergarments. If you harbor skepticism, I completely comprehend. Relinquishing those agreeable scents feels like a genuine sacrifice. However, trust me implicitly, what appears to smell clean is often merely a chemical perfume effectively camouflaging potential harm. Your body, particularly as it ages, unequivocally merits superior care. Seek out detergents explicitly labeled free and clear or hypoallergenic, and meticulously scrutinize ingredient lists for a minimal presence of additives. Your intimate skin will undoubtedly express its profound gratitude. Comment gentle care if you're considering a detergent swap. 6. Discontinuing daily panty liner usage. Panty liners served as my steadfast companions for numerous years. Like countless other women, I was raised with the conviction that they constituted an indispensable component of personal hygiene, a swift, effortless method to maintain a perpetual sensation of freshness, security, and absolute control. Whether it entailed minor spotting, vaginal discharge, or simply the pervasive desire to remain impeccably tidy, seamlessly slipping on a panty liner felt like an inherent, ingrained behavior. However, here exists a stark reality I gleaned from both my physician and my own lived experience. Consistently wearing panty liners on a daily basis can inflict more detriment than benefit, particularly as we progress in age. The fundamental issue resides in the intricate manner in which panty liners interact with your physiological being. Even the most ostensibly thin liners are deliberately engineered with plastic backings, adhesive components, and synthetic fibers that fundamentally impede your skin's inherent capacity to breathe. They effectively trap both heat and moisture against your vulvar and vaginal tissues, thereby cultivating a warm, perpetually damp microenvironment that is practically an explicit invitation for bacteria and yeast to proliferate. Unless you are diligently replacing your liner every few hours, and let's be entirely candid, the vast majority of us lack either the time or the sustained patience for such a regimen. You are, in essence, actively cultivating a prime breeding ground for irritation, unsightly rashes, or even full-blown infections. This inherent risk becomes even more profoundly pronounced as we advance in age. Subsequent to menopause, vaginal tissue naturally undergoes a process of thinning due to a decline in estrogen levels, rendering it considerably more fragile and susceptible to microscopic tears. The vaginal milieu also becomes notably less acidic, thereby diminishing its innate defensive mechanisms against potentially harmful bacteria and yeast. Integrate a daily panty liner into this already vulnerable equation, and you are effectively exacerbating these inherent susceptibilities by perpetually maintaining the area in an overly moist and inadequately ventilated state. Over an extended period, this chronic predisposition can culminate in persistent discomfort, recurrent infections, or even unyielding, offensive odors. Ironically, these are precisely the very conditions we employ liners to prevent in the first place. Now, I am by no means asserting that panty liners are unequivocally inimical. For occasional, intermittent use, such as during periods of light spotting, minor leakage, or days characterized by heavier discharge, they can undeniably prove to be an absolute lifesaver. However, the consistent, prophylactic wearing of them, just in case, on a daily basis, is precisely where the pervasive problems commence. If you do find yourself requiring liners on an occasional basis, conscientiously opt for unscented, cotton-based varieties that are entirely devoid of fragrances and artificial dyes. Aim to replace them every 4 to 6 hours to minimize the accumulation of moisture. Better yet, whenever physiologically feasible, abstain from using liners altogether. Your body profoundly craves unhindered airflow, internal equilibrium, and the intrinsic freedom to regulate its own moisture levels without the impediment of artificial barriers. When I ceased my daily reliance on panty liners, I braced myself for an anticipated diminution in freshness. Instead, the precise opposite transpired. My skin felt perceptibly cooler, significantly less irritated, and genuinely healthier. I unequivocally realized that authentic freshness emanates from allowing your body to breathe naturally, not from layering on products that deceptively promise cleanliness, but, in actuality, deliver the inverse. If you remain hesitant to completely abandon liners, initiate the transition by incrementally reducing their usage to only those instances where they are genuinely indispensable. Your intimate health will unequivocally express its profound gratitude, and you might be astonishingly surprised by the profound sense of liberation you experience. Comment "breathe freely" if you're ready to try this change. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment "still learning" below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Now, let's talk about the final, yet equally crucial, point 7, ceasing the ignorance of your underwear's impact on incontinence. Let us address a topic many of us prefer not to discuss openly, even with our closest confidantes: incontinence. Whether it manifests as a minuscule leak during a hearty laugh, a sudden sneeze, or a forceful cough, mild incontinence is considerably more prevalent than we are often led to believe, particularly as we mature. It is absolutely not an indication of failure or something to be ashamed of. It is simply a lived reality for a significant number of women, especially following childbirth, menopause, or other significant life alterations that influence pelvic floor strength. However, here's the crucial insight: the manner in which we manage incontinence, most notably through our choice of undergarments, can profoundly impact our comfort and self-assurance. For an extended period, I genuinely believed I could effectively manage my occasional leaks by simply doubling up on panty liners, opting for thicker underwear, or rigidly adhering to the same briefs I had consistently worn. This approach initially appeared to be a practical, inconspicuous solution, no need to make a fuss. Yet, I was fundamentally mistaken. These makeshift remedies were precisely that: temporary expedients that failed to address the underlying issue and, regrettably, sometimes even exacerbated the situation. Layering liners or wearing ill-fitting underwear frequently left me feeling perpetually damp, intensely irritated, or preoccupied with a concern of odor, particularly on days filled with activity. Here's what I have gleaned through extensive research and candid conversations with healthcare professionals. your underwear plays an absolutely critical role in effectively managing incontinence. Standard underwear, regardless of whether it is excessively loose or unduly tight, is often simply inadequate for the task. Loose underwear demonstrably fails to wick moisture away from your skin, leaving you feeling persistently wet and profoundly uncomfortable. Tight underwear, conversely, can trap moisture, induce friction burns, or lead to unsightly rashes, particularly in sensitive areas. And as for non-absorbent fabrics like polyester or lace, they are virtually useless for containing even the smallest leaks, allowing moisture to linger and consequently escalating the risk of irritation or unpleasant odor. The definitive game changer for me was the profound discovery of specialized incontinence underwear. If you are currently envisioning bulky, diaper-like garments, I urge you to reconsider. Modern incontinence underwear is a radical departure from outdated stereotypes. These innovative products are meticulously engineered to resemble and feel like conventional briefs, featuring sleek, soft, and remarkably comfortable fits that seamlessly integrate into your existing wardrobe. What truly distinguishes them is their advanced technological prowess. Sophisticated moisture-wicking fabrics, efficacious odor-neutralizing layers, and integrated absorbent cores that meticulously maintain your skin's dryness and provide unparalleled protection. Furthermore, they are by no means exclusively designed for severe incontinence. Numerous reputable brands offer lightweight options tailored for mild leaks, making them the perfect solution for those occasional oops moments. If you are experiencing leaks more frequently than once a week, medical professionals strongly advise exploring these specialized options rather than solely relying on liners or regular underwear. They represent a proactive and intelligent approach to maintaining comfort, confidence, and freedom from the pervasive worry of dampness or irritation. When selecting incontinence underwear, prioritize breathable, hypoallergenic materials. Cotton or bamboo blends are unequivocally ideal, along with a fit that is comfortably snug but never constricting. Some brands even present stylish designs adorned with delicate lace trims or vibrant colors, ensuring you are not compelled to sacrifice aesthetic appeal for essential functionality. Making the transition to incontinence underwear was a minor yet profoundly transformative step for me. It is not about conceding defeat. It is, rather, about empowering yourself to live without perpetual apprehension. If you still find yourself hesitant, commence by experimenting with a single pair for your most active days or for those instances when you anticipate a sudden sneeze might catch you unprepared. You will undoubtedly be astonished by the palpable increase in your sense of security and overall comfort. There you have it. Ladies, 7 indispensable adjustments to make concerning your underwear choices to safeguard your health and preserve your dignity as you navigate the journey of graceful aging. We have meticulously covered a great deal today, from the judicious selection of breathable cotton to the necessary relinquishment of those cherished, worn-out favorites. Now, I am eager to hear from each of you. What is one crucial insight you have gleaned from this video that you are resolute in implementing into your own life? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and let us collectively inspire one another to prioritize our invaluable health. If you found this video valuable, please leave your comment below and remember to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel for an abundance of additional tips designed to empower you to age more intelligently and live more comfortably. Until our next discussion, remain astute, beautiful, and committed to your well-being. Don't forget to explore our other engaging videos on the channel before you depart.